Hello and welcome to another episode of Allen Outlines. We're working on the Truest Cross. We've got number of characters and locations down, as well as some other bits and pieces. I really don't have the scientists down. It doesn't really matter. Well, it does for one. The scientists. Okay. Is that? Yeah, that's the daughter, the scientist. Just one. Sad that I don't have names for these people. Humanist. God doesn't come first. People do. Do the right thing and expect no reward. He's kind of, he or she is kind of a non-religious religious person. Believes in doing the best for things. Scientist 2. The fractured believer. The Bible happened. Fairly literally. I mean, there has to be some metaphor. Not a, science exists because it does, otherwise they're not a scientist. But so does God. Nietzsche, that's not how Nietzsche was wrong. You can't kill ideas. Alright. So we've got a couple different types of scientists. And then we've got the professional. Just 3. The professional. Here to do the work, get paid, get papers published. Everything through the lens of science and progress. A little cold, yeah. But that's the job. This passionate logic. Not a bad person, but disinclined to drama. Which is funny because we're going to be using a lot of drama in this, so he's going to be he or she's going to be the, oh yeah, that's happening, huh? Oh yeah, well, okay, we're going to just kind of move on with the day. The fractured believer. Paradox of thought. Constraints. Action. I mean, there has to be some... The Earth wasn't made in 7 days. 6, remember. Because on the 7th, God rested. God is a good idea. Religion helps people. Yes, not always. Nothing helps always. Because it doesn't. I mean, that's just the way it is. Nothing is perfect and flawless. But strive to do good in the world. And that's why 1 and 2 will probably get along. They both get along with 3 in a professional sense, but, you know, 3 is kind of cold. We're also going to have a security chief. Protecting others is the highest goal. Views on God are a mixed bag. If God could do a thing, why not protect more? Or are they protecting others as much as they can without repercussion? Too much security leads to paranoia. Again, I'm trying to create good people who may or may not be able to walk the line that we're on here. It is important that they start out heroic, at least in their own eyes, that I don't have a single villain. That's one thing I always hated with MASH. Was the Major Frank Burns, played by Larry Linville. He was the butt of jokes. He was, you know, somebody they could, you know, they could do stuff to, and you wouldn't feel too bad. But it was a dead-end character because he just didn't. He wasn't going anywhere. He didn't have an arc, and they should have an arc, even if it's a terrible arc. They should have an arc. Noah understood this. That's a joke. Noah and the Ark. Good idea. Good execution. So, yes, religious helps them understand why people do terrible things. Alright, so that's the security chief. Excuse me for a moment as I blow my nose. What else? What else? There'll be others. 3 scientists. I don't want to overload people on this, and that's important. Oh, I do need one more. I need the patch. And all of a sudden, I've forgotten how to do that. Oh, there we go. The patch. The connection between the benefactor and the main character. Young, idealistic, moral. Vital and vigorous. Eager to do important things. So yes, ambitious, but that's good, right? Sometimes cuts corners, but only to serve a larger end. At least these are the ones we have at the start. How they develop as the series goes on, well, that's another question. All right, number 1 is the pilot episode, The Truest Cross. And I'm going to be honest with the episodes here. I don't know what length we'd want. Probably an hour-long show. But can we do half an hour? It's not a sitcom. It's not an in-and-out thing. probably an hour-long show. Which means I need 40-some minutes of filler, depending on the commercial breaks, to, not filler, but I need content for 40 plus minutes. Which means about 40 plus pages for the scripts. Number 2 is settling in. The main character settles into a routine, or tries to. Modernity gets in the way. Everyone wants to pick their brain, but they aren't a scientist. Gets along well with security chief. You got my old job. My old burden. Well, they think of it as, if you're guarding this, but you're guarding it out of need, it's not a burden. And it's not a job. It's not something you punch in for. You've taken up my mantle. Fine. Reference this later with an actual mantle. Do I do with my free time? Number 3. The first discovery. What is the cross? Composition. Not just wood, but a crystalline structure inside. Like a petrified wood of sorts. But this is why it regrows. Not God's will? Well, depends on how you look at it. Alright. Well, that's the drama, but what's the action? Test goes awry. Okay, a test goes too well. Science debate. We'll settle this. We'll settle this with battery of tests. When subjected to X, the crystal structure grows rapidly. Too rapidly. It is trying to be a tree again. All right. Damage caused and lives risked. You know, now that I'm thinking about this, maybe I want my template to be the TV show Bones, which I haven't seen all of, but I did enjoy what I saw. I mean, it was enjoyable, certainly. So, number 4. Outside threat. A member of the benefactor family is taken hostage. Demands made for a sliver of the Truest Cross. Not the whole cross? No. They know we'd never part that, but a sliver. This is how terrorists win. Is how negotiations resolve. So, the hostage swap, the main character thereby request to verify the authenticity of the, yeah, spelled that wrong, the authenticity of the fragment. He won't lie? Well, he doesn't. They won't lie. They don't like to lie. But okay. Not their first hostage taking either. Flashbacks to a time of ancient hostage taking and current parallel. The swap, the betrayal, the hostage was in on it. There never was a hostage. Killed them accidentally. Weekend at Bernie's. They wanted the MC instead. Either way, violence. Wrap up. It's a dangerous world. It always has been. Alright. Well, let's consider what we do with number 5. Alright, after the violence of number 4, we're going to want some downtime. Which we will just call downtime. MC gets to know the people in their apartment block. just a dinner or something. People still do that. Not as much anymore. But to be honest, we didn't do it much back then. Festivals and holidays. Crisis of the Cross. A child in need. The MC wants to use the cross for the child. It has worked before. It has also not worked before. Moral decision. MC sneaks out a fragment cross. The very one that was the product of number 4. Fun. Okay. Alright, so after downtime, what do we do? Well, now it starts to go off the rails on things. How about an old friend? MC sees an image of someone they knew a long time ago. Doppelganger, imposter, longevic, random. Investigate using the site's resources. A little bit of stalking, maybe. Stalking? Not really. But the actions make noise, which lets an independent group act against the MC. Captured. Sure, we'll go with captured. The highest bidder. Alright. That'll take us into there. We're going to go for that, the highest bidder, which is going to be an episode to itself. But I got to end it here because I know I'm running out of stuff. I will consider the next 6 or whatever we're doing. I don't know how many episodes. It's best to do more than less because you're going to pare these down anyway. You can only do so many, and you've got to take the best. And sometimes you end up breaking them apart and using certain components here or there, what have you, in order to make something that's conducive to a story as a whole. So that's not a lot of individual jerks and what have you. Which I loved the X-Files, where they had the main story. But the little stories they told were sometimes far more engaging than anything else, and it kind of felt bad when you had to go back to the main story. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little romp through creative territory. Stay safe and take care.